Match day 18 of the Ghana Premier League. It's Hohoe United taking on Accra Hearts of Oak at the Hohoe Stadium. It's a crunch one, and it's actually the first round in the second round of the Ghana Premier League. It's the business end. Temperatures around 34 degrees Celsius. It's quite hot, and definitely it might play it to the advantage of either of these two sides. Certainly the home team, but then Accra Hearts of Oak, they also have their eyes on the ultimate prize itself, and that is the arrival of the home team, Hohoe United. They parted ways with their head coach not long ago, but there is another coach in town. We'll be talking about that in a bit, but this is how they made it into a place where they call a fortress, the den itself, and that is the dressing room as well. They'll be donning their natural, traditional colors, the orange, and that's where they feel they can turn things around for the second round, and that's their kits for this particular game. And Bekwe, he played in the previous game here, and it looks certainly like there is a score to settle between these two sides. So that's for Hohoe United, and that was also the grand arrival of Accra Hearts of Oak. They are currently fit on the table. They are hoping to close in on league leaders Mediama Sporting Club as they make it to Hohoe. In the reverse fixture, it was a goalless stalemate at Accra Sports Stadium. It was actually the first game to kickstart the 2025-26 Ghana Premier League season, and that is the dressing room of Accra Hearts of Oak. And the kits neatly arranged, and it's certainly going to be a huge one. And let me once again welcome you to the Hohoe Stadium, where Hohoe United will be taking on Accra Hearts of Oak. Don't forget to follow the only league that matters, the Ghana Premier League, across the various social media handles. It's Ghana Premier League on Facebook, TikTok, as well as on YouTube, and Ghana League on XIG, and then also on Snapchat. My name is Josiah Kokwe, and I'm here with Francis Aboibo Blackgate for this presentation. Francis, welcome and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Josiah.
Yeah, let's not forget, it's the commencement of the second round, match day 18, and which means that there are 17 more match weeks to go. But let me quickly take your thoughts on the first 17 weeks of the Ghana Premier League.
Well, it's been a cracking, entertaining football over the course of the last 17 weeks in the Ghana Premier League. Last weekend, we climaxed the end of the first round here at the Hohoe Sports Stadium, where Hohoe United themselves took on their regional rivals, Kpando out of Lance here. Both teams they went for it, they tried to win the game. By the end of the day, it ended in a 0-0 stalemate. The two teams split at the point. Hohoe United had their moments. Heart of Lions themselves had their moment, but none of them were able to put the ball at the back of the net to be able to carry the 3 maximum points. But if you look at the Ghana Premier League itself, it's been entertaining. You look at teams like Aduana Stars, Accra Hearts of Oak, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Mediama SC. They've all lighted up the Ghana Premier League this season. So the second round of the season can only get better. We are now gradually getting to the business end of the season, where you see those who would like to go for the Ghana Premier League crown and those who would love to survive relegation. So it's all to play for in the next 18 match days for the Ghana Premier League.
Most certainly. So there's match day 18, and that lifts the curtains on the second round of the Ghana Premier League. But then the action started yesterday at the University of Ghana Stadium. 11 Wonders took on Basake Holy Stars, to lift the curtains. And it's something that rarely happens to 11 Wonders. For the second time this season, they won a Ghana Premier League game. They won by 2-0, and these are the pictures currently on your screens. Francis Aboibo. Wonders winning by 2-0 against Basake Holy Stars.
Well, you look at 11 Wonders themselves. It's not that they were playing bad. They were playing good, but just that they were not clinical enough in front of goal in some of the games that they've played. But if you pick a moment to bounce back to winning ways in the Ghana Premier League, then it definitely got to be just at the commencement of the second round of the season, which was in match week 18. And yesterday we saw how they came out of the blocks. They played very well at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. And they managed to beat Basake Holy Stars, who themselves got rejuvenated from the match day 8 of the first round, and then they started playing better under Johnson Smith. Actually, a lot of guys were expecting them to lose again, but they stepped out and beat Basake. Because if you look at Basake, we can't remember the last time they lost in the Ghana Premier League under Johnson Smith. Actually, that's their first defeat under their new gaffer. So it's been brilliant for them yesterday, and I think they can now dream and believe that if they can play very well, they can have a crack and see if they will do the unthinkable to survive relegation from the Ghana Premier League.
All right, so those are the pictures of the game played yesterday at the University of Ghana Stadium at 11 Wonders. They rarely win this season, but they managed to get their second win of the season, which, to some extent, just keeps that hope, that glimmer of hope alive that they can stay in the Ghana Premier League for yet another season. Now, we're here at the Hohoe Stadium, and we are bringing to you Hohoe United against Accra Hearts of Oak. We'll be right back after this break. Still a Saturday from the Hohoe Stadium, and it's Hohoe United taking on Accra Hearts of Oak for the second game of match day 18. And it's, as usual, the business end of the season, where champions are made or teams suffer their fate in the relegation zone. So the match week started yesterday at the University of Ghana Stadium, where 11 Wonders, they got their second win of the season at the expense of Basake Holy Stars. Our featured game today here at the Hohoe Stadium will feature Hohoe United and Accra Hearts of Oak. Then tomorrow there will be a bunch of the games. Asante Kotoko will host Brekum Chelsea. As a Diana also up against Kerala United. Mediaba Sporting Club will also go head-to-head against Young Apostles at the TNA Stadium in Sakwa. Then you have Bechem United also at the Nanafosu Jabwa taking on Bibieri Gold Stars, the defending champions. Dreams FC will also square off against Heart of Lions. Swedro Blacks will cross blades against Nations FC. But then here, our featured game is Hohoe United against Accra Hearts of Oak. And Francis, let me quickly bring you in. Right after the sacking of Tijani Abdul Bashir, can you talk to me about how the mood has been, in the town of Hohoe?
Well, you look at the mood around town, it's been bittersweet. Those who wanted the coach to go are happy. And those who felt like the coach was doing a decent job, it's only a matter of time for them to get firm grip on what they were doing in the first round, and are really not happy. But hey, the owners of the club had a decision to make, and they decided that they've seen enough of the old technical team in the first 17 matches of the season, and they just have to put a plug on them, and they did. So they have to move on from there. The decision has been made. Coach Tijani will look elsewhere and continue his coaching career, and the club themselves have a simple task of trying to survive in the Ghana Premier League, because it's all about trying to survive for your debut season in the Ghana Premier League whenever you make your way from the Division 1 into the Ghana Premier League. So if you look at where they are currently languishing in the bottom 3 of the Ghana Premier League, but it's not bad. It's still in their hands. You look at them, they have 18 points, and they are not that much adrift of all those who are on top of them. A win can push them
Francis,
out of it.
you would have to apologize me for this rude intervention. But then let's quickly take a look at the standings after 17 match days and look at where Hearts of Oak are lying currently. 6 points adrift the first place Mediaba Sporting Club. There's Bibieri Gold Stars. But then look at the Hohoe United where they are currently. How do they salvage this situation and maintain their Ghana Premier League place?
Well, you look at the two teams, a tale of two ends. Hearts of Oak, with all the investment they have done this season in terms of the recruitment they've done, in terms of the technical team. You look at the technical team, very expensive technical team led by Kodidi Dramani. Then look at the team, the reinforcement they've done. You look at Baba Adamu and Co. from Golden Kick. You look at Gordon Kujo from Tudu Mighty Jets. You look at Frank Boraduku from Vision FC. They've augmented the strength of the team, but it's only a matter of time for the team to gel and start playing. You look at their position, they're currently lying at the 5th position. They would love to be in the top 4 or in the top 2. And they are just 6 points away from Mediama SC on top. So it's just basically 2 points. And we have 17 more matches to play in the Ghana Premier League. That's a whole lot of matches to play. So it's in their hands to come back and stake a claim for the Ghana Premier League crown. You look at Hohoe United, they are languishing. Okay,
Francis, I'll get back to you, but then we'll have to listen to the coaches. I caught up with assistant head coach of Hohoe United, and then also Masood Didi Dramani has spoken about the reason why Basi is not on a match day team sheet, and then also what they expect to do in the second round.
It was with mixed feelings. It wasn't too good. You are there with your coach. All of a sudden, he's leaving you. Naturally, you will not be happy. But I think it is something that is part of the job. So the players understood, everybody understood, and then they lifted themselves up, and life goes on. I think we have 17 more games to go. So, yes, there's a little pressure where we need to work hard to be able to push up out of where we find ourselves now. But I don't think it's a big deal. We have 17 more matches to play, and I think that should motivate us to keep going.
I think that defensive approach is the entire team unit. It's not just the back line. It's how the entire team operates. And so offensively, we still need to improve a lot in terms of our decision making in some key areas of the pitch, and then and the decisive moments of the game. And so it's part of it. It's both either offensive defensive, or in transition. So these three key areas are what makes football. It's just to give him a mental and a physical break, very important for an intense season and then for an intense future, so that he also comes back very much prepared.
Is he still your number one?
Number one is Asari. Asari is the number one and captain of the team, and so each time he's match fit and then ready, he comes back to his feet. But the two are all number ones.
So that's the assessment of both coaches. But for Masoud Didi Dramani, he had to clear the air about who the number one for Accra Hearts of Oak is. Is it still Asari or it's Agbasi? Both goalkeepers have been in between the sticks 8 times in the first round for Hearts of Oak. Agbasi kept 6 clean sheets. Benjamin Asari keeping 5 clean sheets. And they've made a decision. I don't know if there's a final one, but what do you have to say about, one club having 2 top goalkeepers like Accra Hearts of Oak?
Well, you look at a club like Hearts of Oak, they deserve to have 2 quality goalkeepers in their fold. And football, anything can happen. We saw what happened to Solomon Agbasi, and when he stepped into the goalpost for them in the absence of Benjamin Asari when he got injured. So for Hearts of Oak is a big club, Josiah. Every single player needs to battle for their position. So it's nothing. We used to have Samia J and Ebendida or James Nano. It's in their DNA. So it's good that they have 2 quality goalkeepers in their fold. So it's up to the goalkeepers trainer to always bring the best out of them. So as far as I'm concerned, it's no news.
Interested. But let's also talk about the performance in the first round. Just 3 wins here for Hohoe United. Is that the reason TJ got sacked? And what do they have to do now to improve, winning games over here?
Well, if you look at the first round, they've won only 4 matches out of the 17 they've played, and they felt like it's not enough, so they have to let go of him. But if you look at what they are doing, it's not bad for them. A win or 2 for them, basically they are out of the relegation zone. It's still in their hands. In terms of the mini league is the most important thing for them. And they believe that in that mini league, they have majority of the team, they will come here to play against them at the Hohoe Sports Stadium. So if they can beat those that they are fighting with, then it doesn't have any negative effect on them. But for Hohoe United, the most important thing is the fact that they have to start winning. And they've done that against Accra Hearts of Oak. Against Kumasi Asante Kotoko in the first round, and they can be able to win all the games that they need to be able to survive relegation here from the Hohoe Sports Stadium.
All right, so after the sacking of Abdul Tijani Bashiru, there's a new coach, and let's see what's currently happening here, because that is the outdooring of the new head coach. You know the name of the head coach, Francis. You help me with the name. It's quite a name that doesn't often stick. But that is the ceremony here, and he needs to be outdoored to the entire community and then also the supporters of Hohoe United.
Formerly he had stints with Rainmasters in Division 1, and then he had to leave for 1 or 2 reasons. But at the end of the day, they decided to bring him back, and they feel like he's the man to come on this rescue mission to do the job for them. I met him yesterday at Hampton Hotel. We spoke for some time, and he has shown that he has the experience to be able to dig them out of this. So you look at the mood around town, they are happy, and the unveiling process is happening, and it looks like he's the right man for the job for them. So we only wish him the very best of luck. I mean, it's a very big, demanding job, and we hope you'll be able to just do the needful for them, which is to help them survive relegation from the Ghana Premier League.
Interesting. All right, so the outdooring is still ongoing, and it's the new head coach of Hohoe United. They'll be hoping that he could get them out of the mess where they find themselves now. Currently, they are in the drop zone, and this is the coach they'll be hoping will change their fortunes around for them. We're still building up to our featured game today from the Hohoe Stadium. Stellar Saturday, Hohoe United taking on Accra Hearts of Oak. There's more after this break.
bright and sunny Saturday afternoon here at the Hohoe Stadium in the Volta region. A side seeking for revival and a title chasing side, hoping to return to winning ways. Score it up this afternoon on match day 18 of the Ghana Premier League. A stellar Saturday. Hohoe United versus Accra Hearts of Oak here in a game that promises to be very exciting. My name is Nana Dakwa Jesse, together with Josiah Okokwe, we're your commentators for this afternoon's big one here in Hohoe.
But then this is just a game you won't afford to miss. What a game now. You have one side chasing the title, another side just trying to find, some space down there. It's not really been good and smooth for Hohoe United, but I tell you what, if they really wanted to take 10 things around for themselves, if they really want to win the hearts of the fans again, I think this is just a game they need to put up something. They need to put things together to get a win in this game.
The last time they played at this venue, they were pegged back by Hearts of Lions in a stalemate, a game that failed to produce any goal. It was a game that actually the man leading the team this afternoon, Usman Sofiano, missed the penalty, and Hearts of Lions lucky to go back without conceding at this venue. Hearts of Oak also coming to this game from a defeat at the TNA against league leaders Mediama Sporting Club. But if they want to keep their title aspirations on course, then a win here in Hohoe will get them back on track.
Most definitely, both teams have got problems of their own, but I think one of the highlights would definitely be Benjamin Asare returning to the side, after being out for a lengthy period. And, all eyes will be on him if he can actually get this team a clean sheet in such a crucial game. But for Hearts of Oak themselves, they are looking at that distance between themselves and Media. 6 points now. They need to get a win. If they don't, perhaps maybe it's about time they started thinking not about winning the league this season.
Hohoe United in their usual red and black jerseys about red stockings. Hearts of Oak white, purple, and the rainbow colors here. Their very first meeting in the Premier League at the Hohoe Sports Stadium. Don't forget, these two were the first to play in this season's Premier League in a game that Hohoe proudly walked away with a point from the Accra Sports Stadium. So this is the lineup for the home side this afternoon. A few changes by Hohoe United. Kweku Musa is imposed. There's Amebo returning to the starting lineup. Adumaku and Paul Kwame maintain their place in central defense. Mohamed Bangura at left back. Odro Usman and Sena Ati returns to the lineup from suspension. Daniel Osei, Kwejo Buama is in the team for the very first time in a long while as Losim Bekui leads the attack for the Hohoe-based outfit this afternoon.
Major changes, and I think we could be seeing Ati in action this afternoon, Sena Ati on the right-hand side of attack. But then let's not also forget that their latest signing, Stephen Diu, also formerly of Instructorman, is on the bench for them.
And Diu is a player this man knows too well. Boniface Ayipa, he coached him at Instructorman. Ayipa comes in as the first assistant of Hohoe United, who have already parted ways with coach Abdul Tijani following the poor string of results that they've experienced in their debut season in the Premier League. Benjamin Asare returns to keeper the Phobians in this afternoon's game with home favorite Usman Safiano, captain Hohoe. Hopefully, he'll be lucky not to miss a penalty in this afternoon's game here at the Hohoe Stadium. Referee Yakubu Hassim is the centre man. He's assisted by Abdullah Al-Hassan and Minkel Fauzan as the second assistant referee. Hobe's Rustum Senogbe is the fourth referee for this afternoon's game. Surprisingly, Hearts of Oak has made 7 changes to the team that lost to Mediama. Hussein returns from suspension to play in midfield. There's a backline of Adamu, Kujo, Esibe, and Beifi with Paku, Afrani, and Hussein in a 3-man midfield. Hamza Isa, Enoch Esubontin, and George Paku playing. So those who are missing from last weekend's game are Kwesi Asma, Frank Duku, Abdul Karim, Mohamed Ali, Solomon Agbasi, and Masoud Didi Dramani in the pre-match interview indicated that both Asare and Agbasi could be regarded as his number 1.
Also changes, but I think that's the takeaway, from that pre-match discussion and what he had to say about bookkeepers. And it's quite rare seeing one team have 2 solid goalkeepers, to choose from at 80 points in time. But then, unfortunately for Agbasi, he doesn't make the team sheet. But you just look at this team, and I think there'll be some variations. More like a 5-3-2 for Hearts of Oak. You would only have Afrani dropping deeper, and then Adamu playing as a left wing back in that setup. It's quite a tactical setup, but then they'll be hoping to score more goals.
Yesterday, bottom place 11 Wonders got their second Premier League win of the season when they beat Basaki Holy Stars by 2-0 at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. Subsequent wins for them will mean they'll be piling pressure on Hohoe United and could replace them on the 17th spot. As we speak, Hohoe United are 17th on the league log with 18 points to show. Only 4 wins, 6 draws, and 7 losses. It's not looking pretty good for the home side.
Not good at all. And those are not the numbers that actually guarantee you another year in the Ghanaian top flight. And they understand that. They know the stakes are high, higher than ever. And they would want to enjoy the Premier League at least for yet another season. But you can keep up, with these numbers. It doesn't speak well of the club. And I know that the players, including the new head coach who was just outdoored, will take that up and know that there's something that they need to change if they would want to keep that Premier League, status quo.
Big game, big day here at the Hohoe Sports Stadium. Hazelwood's very first visit in the Ghanaian top flight to this venue. All is set and we are good to go. It's Hohoe United up against Hearts of Oak. There we go. Game underway here at the Hohoe Sports Stadium. It's Hohoe United against Hearts of Oak, Ghana Premier League, match day 18. Kojo Buama with a lovely first touch. Kweku Musa. So for starters, Hohoe United just unveiled their new coach, Kasim Gokildis. He's going to lead the team from the second half of the season, hoping to get them back on the right path following the exit of Tijani after their drawn game against Hearts of Lions last weekend.
That's a huge job. A huge task on his hands now that he needs to salvage the situation.
Esubontin with the first chance, but Kweku Musa reacts really well. Hohoe United under early pressure here from the Phobians.
Yeah, that was a quick way to break the lines across. Just one pass and Esubontin making that forward run. Coming up one-on-one with Musa, but unfortunately just couldn't hit that ball over Musa. That was a glorious chance and Hearts of Oak should have taken the lead.
Hohoe United are missing the services of Al-Qasim Mohamed Haruna and then John Alosode. Alosode is actually suspended for this game. He picked up a 3rd yellow card last weekend in that John game against Hearts of Lions. It's been a crucial part of this Hohoe United team since the league began.
Yeah, key player. Let's talk about these players. They've really made an impact, but it's not really been enough. Look at where they lie on the league log, and they really need to punch above their weight.
Esubontin with a cross in. Bangura with a clearance. Bayfi collides with his marker and goes down.
There was that collision between himself and Bakoy. Bayfi arriving a bit late. Bayfi getting his head onto that one. Wasn't no deliberate intention to just collide into him, Bakoy, and I believe referee Yakubu Hassim will be keeping his cards to his pocket, but for Hearts of Oak, they'll be hoping that it will be too early for a sub to be made, especially one forced by injury.
Early injury concerns for Hearts of Oak. Yamankwa Bayfi. Bayfi has been one of the most consistent players under Didi Dramani this season, enjoying his time with the Phobians. And Didi Dramani, to be fair, has brought out the best in Amankwa Bayfi this season. He's made 15 appearances for the Phobians, Amankwa Bayfi.
Yeah, he's more like a utility player, can play at any side on the right and on the right side of the pitch, as a right back, as a right midfielder, as a right winger, right wing back, and he's going to get a job done for you.
Here is Senati. Good control from Safiano Usman. Here is Ace Bontain, but Amebo goes in hard. There's a hard work side that concedes a throw in now. Prince Amebo's throw. Referee spots an infringement and decision will go against the home side.
Yeah, and as you can see, we saw the variations, and sometimes when they set up those team, on the DD, it's obvious you would see Afrani dropping a bit deeper in between the two centre backs.
Adomako slightly putting the ball before Musa. For the Phobian fans, it will be refreshing to welcome back Mohamed Hussein from suspension following his 3-game ban after that incident involving himself and the referee after their defeat to Asante Kotoko in the Premier League. He's back and straight to the starting lineup. Hamza Isa for Hearts of Oak. Paku. Upon Francis switches to Baba Damu. Baba with a long ball in. Solomon Adomako heads it down. Kwame Paul gets it away.
And you're feeling comfortable now, Accra, and that's what they want to do, move the ball around so quickly and swiftly.
Here is Boateng. Lovely run from Boateng, but Osei comes in for Hohoe. Now Paku. Afrani. Henry Boateng back to Upon Afrani. Through one for Hamza Issa. Lovely touch. Hamza Issa goes down right outside the box. Referee is there. Whistles. And there's a Hazabok free kick just outside the box.
They're allowing them too much space. The Hohoe United defense is non-existent at this point, and Hamza Issa just needed, the tightest of spaces to operate. Just look at that, lifted that one over Kwame Paul, so easily done, and he just had to, bring him down at that point. Else he would have been dangerous. I think that should have been a yellow card.
Hearts have a free kick and an opportunity to open the scoring here at the Hohoe Stadium. They come into this game after losing to the league leaders last weekend at the TNA. A win for them propels them onto the third spot of the log. Now they have a free kick. Henry Boateng straight into the wall. Paku drives one. And it goes out for a goal kick.
It was an awful kick by Yeboah. He had options, but decided to bend that one over the wall. But the wall does its job perfectly for Hearts of Oak. Really exploiting the little spaces left up front for them, pocket of spaces left up front.
Paul Kwame. Safiano. Daniel Osei goes down, free kick. Here is Adomako. Boateng.
We are pressing high. Look how Accra Hearts of Oak, and the very last defender, in Kujo, who is very, very closer to the center line.
Hearts of Oak have a corner. Corner for Hartlepool, George Parker to take. Parker goes low to Hussein, but the idea was to get it back to Hussein, not on the same page as the ball goes out for a goal kick.
You know, that's a chance wasted. You could see the idea. It was clear that return ball should have gone back to Hussein, but I think it was a bit overhit. There was no way he just was going to receive that. With bodies in the box, you're expecting that at least one cross should have gone into the box for these bodies to attack, but nothing of that sort at all.
Amerbo. Bangura. Osei plays himself into trouble, but he's lucky he's been rescued by his teammate, Bangura. Asari is yet to be tested in 9 minutes so far, same for Kweku Musa.
Yeah, and I think that's even ambitious because you're looking at making a touch or having a touch in the attacking third, and United are yet to have a single touch, in the last 10 minutes. They've been under siege, and it's been hard to work, pressing very, very high up the pitch, and winning all the second balls even before any fast break can occur. And that's how, energized they look after that defeat, at Takwa. They look as if they want to win all 3 points this afternoon.
Senati, Prince Amerbo. Osei loses the ball once again. Has the ball cover player down. Looking like George Parker is a player who has gone down.
Yeah, that's Parker. After that initial challenge on him, and it doesn't look good for the youngster. They rely heavily on him for creativity up front, and the return of Hussein also has boosted the chances of Hartlepool scoring lots of goals. They ended the first round as the lead scoring side with just 11 goals, and you'd wonder where the attack has been all season. And he's one of the finest attacking midfielders in the league, and each and every time you'd be hoping that he could make something work out for them. That was a tackle on him, not very good, a bit robust there.
Sorry with the delivery. Amerbo heads it down to Daniel Osei, who goes back to Paul Kwame. Safian Usman. Now Parker for Hearts. Kujo, long searching ball. That's some good clearance, good defending from Amerbo. Lovely play from Hohoe United. Here's Kojo Boama. And it's a brilliant switch. Here is Odro. Up against Bayfi. Odro goes down from the challenge of Bayfi. Referee doesn't hesitate to whistle. It's a free kick for Hohoe United.
Yeah, it is the first move we've seen. It's promising. It's the first time we've seen them gain entry into the offensive third. But, the board of contention has to do with if Bayfi actually fouled him, because those two were involved in a tussle over there. It looked quite unclear if Bayfi actually brought him down, but for the first time in the game, this has been the most promising move out by Hohoe United. It sends the fans up on their feet, hoping that they can build upon that. It was a good move, very, very swift, and it all started with Amerbo down the right hand side, who did everything brilliantly.
Free kick for Hohoe United. Scored against Kotoko at this venue from a free kick. And it was William Odro who scored from that free kick. He's won them a free kick. The question is he going to elect himself to take it? Yes, it is Odro. He will fancy his chances. Odro bends when he goes low and is straight to the wall.
Yeah, the opposite of what he scored against Asante Kotoko a couple of weeks ago. And at this time, he was trying to catch everyone by surprise.
Boama with a dink into Hartlepool's box. Here is Lawson Bekwi. He's blasted over the bar. Glorious chance missed by Lawson Bekwi. the biggest chance we've seen in this game so far, Josiah.
It took them up to 12 minutes for them to come into the game, but already they've created the best chances. And just look at that, 2 players over there at Sibe. Just totally wrong-footed there, Sibe. Not getting any of the ball at all. And that would have gone down as an error if that had scored. A good effort by Bekwe. Very, very strong lad. So difficult to deal with, especially in the box. And for the first time in the game, he's making his presence felt. A worrying times for Sibe.
Hazelbrook's Kelvin Osei Sibe seems to have come up worst after that battle for the ball against this lad, Lawson Bekwe, one of those new players brought in during the second transfer window to help them get goals, because it's been a problem for them to hit the back of the net, Hohoe United.
Yeah, it's actually the bane, not just of Hohoe United, even though they've scored more than Hazelbrook. For Hazelbrook themselves, they have their issues, but you talk about Bekwe and the kind of profile he adds to the setup. He's that lanky attacker he can play as a target man, and he responds so well. Last week we saw him, create a penalty situation, but unfortunately they flagged it, and it's really been useful, with that setup, playing as a target man.
Here is Hamza Isa for Hazelbrook. Onto the right is looking for Henry Boateng. Boateng controls for the Phobians. Swings in across. Hussein is lurking. And it goes out for a goal kick.
Not a bad cross. But Hussein, not the tallest of players. Left on mark at the far end. But not brave enough to go in for that. And I think the last touch coming off Amevo, it was a lovely connection. Yabwa without swing and cross. Hussein unable to attack that one.
First quarter of an hour, and there's no goal here at the Hohoe Sports Stadium. Amevo, Usman. Here is Prince Amevo. He's a home favorite. Was crucial for them in their qualification to the Premier. Lovely play. Now, too early from the captain, Safiana Senati is trying to race for it, and Senati gets on it, but it's cleared away by Osei Sibe.
Nearly an error. Nearly an error.
Asari collects it calmly for the Phobians, who are beginning to feel the pressure from the home side.
We've hardly seen Hohoe United attack in this game, but anytime they step forward, it's been dangerous for Hazelbrook, and you could see them struggling to deal with the pace of the attackers. Senati at the right-hand side, Udro from the left-hand side, and that has been how they operate all the time. They love to play, using the wide areas, and already Hazelbrook need to double up in those areas. If not, they could be punished for that, because the pace of these two wingers would always cause havoc.
Kujo, Paco. Kujo is that kind of utility player for Didi Dramani's setup. He can play as a right back, a centre back, and sometimes even as a defensive midfielder for Didi. Here is Paco. Afrani, back to Paco. He wants to shoot from the distance. Paco shoots, and it is not troubling Kweku Musa.
What about it, a first pass player has an eye for a good pass, but this time from around 35 yards decides to try his luck over there. And that was a good hit, but not on target for Paku, and spoken about what he brings to this team. Lots of creativity. Or sometimes he tries to get goals as well.
Kujo. Here is Hussein. Baba Damu. Kujo. Baba. So, Sibe. Kujo was trying to look for that through ball, but Prince Amevo One of the brightest spots for this Hohoe team in the opening 18 minutes. Sena Ati, Daniel Osei, Solomon Adomako, Bangura, the Guinea international, all the way back to his goalkeeper, Kweku Musa. He's trying to pick out Senati from the flanks.
Yeah, well, he was lurking at that point. I was just hoping that, Kujo would have just committed a blunder there and he would have capitalized on that. And they are not seeing more of the ball, and perhaps that's the game plan. We've spoken about having two, very bulky, strong lads up front in Osman Safianu and then also Bekwe, and it's playing out to perfection. It was the game plan last week against Pando Heart of Lions as well, where they conceded possession and they love to hit them on the fast break and the counter attacks. And Heart of Oak hasn't really allowed them any space at all, but they'll keep trying it until it works for them. But this time it's Paul Kwame who needs some treatment.
That's the incident that got Kwame down. Esibontin seemed to have left something on Kwame, who has been one of the consistent players for this Hohoe United team. He's played 15 games for Hohoe United this season and scored a goal for them as a centre-back. Together with Adomako, they've been the most consistent of the back line for Hohoe United, and hopefully he gets back on the field for Hohoe United. Not a serious injury to him.
Yeah, I think that's what Coach Aipa will be hoping, that nothing serious would occur, because he's formed a formidable partnership with his centre-back partner there, Adomako. And in the last derby game, he won the man of the match. He was unplayable, cleared everything that came his way.
20 minutes at the Hohoe Stadium. Hohoe United 0, Hearts of Oak 0. Here is Daniel Osei. Kojo Boama tries to pick out William Odro. Odro just can't sort out his feet and the ball goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, he should be doing better there. He had space, he had time to drag that ball back into play. Unfortunately, it's just slow reaction from the midfielder, allowing that ball to go out of play. But it's still just trying to defend with numbers and attack with just fewer numbers for Hohoe United.
Hussein. Hohoe United have won just 2 games in their last 12 Premier League outings, and they've suffered 3 defeats on the bounce before that drawn game against Hearts of Lions, a situation that obviously puts for the exit of Tijani, but here they go with Odro. Now Sena Ati can't go past Adamu, resolute defending from Baba.
He does well there. First time we're seeing these two go head-to-head there, and Baba standing tall with that impressive display to just halt Sena Ati in his tracks there. Did that so well. He's not used to playing as a left back, but he has to improvise due to the unavailability of Ransford Mensah, who has been the first choice left back for Didi Dramani.
Hussein. Afrani goes to Esibe, who picks out Yao Befi down the right side. Befi with a long ball is trying to find George Parku. Here is Henry Boateng. He's been brilliant on that right-hand side for the Phobians with some lovely touches. Here is Hussein, being challenged by Daniel Osei. Now Baba Adamu onto the left. Here's Enoch Esubontin. He wants to create the space and drive. He shoots and it flies over the bar. Goal kick.
You're trying your luck from distance. The last 2 shots Hearts of Oak have taken in this game have come from, at distance. This time is Subontin from a very, very narrow angle there. Trying to beat Musa. Trying to finesse that one into the top right-hand corner. And that ball will lack accuracy, and he's been stuck at the left-hand side, Esubonte. We've not really seen much of him.
Problems for Hartlepool to deal with because Esubonte, after that try at goal, has gone down. Time for cooling break as the two teams get a breather before the last 20 minutes. And these cooling breaks have oftentimes provided coaches with the opportunity to come up close and personal with these players, and there you see exactly what is happening.
You'd always expect that in a tactically close game, as we are seeing now. Coaches would want to tweak one or two things in game and hope it goes well for them. For Hohoe United, they're still sticking to the game plan, the 4-2-3-1, more like a 4-4-2 flat without the boss, and you have Safiano pairing Bakwe up front, and they'll be hoping that those long boys will be sent to them. At least they can use their strength and body to hold up play until someone arrives. But for Hearts of Oak, they've been trying to exploit the wide areas. They are keeping the ball neatly, but they are just not finding that one pass that can break down this resolute Hohoe United defense. And you expect either Paku or Hussein to get that job done for them.
Hearts of Oak are this afternoon without their first assistant coach, Abdullah Ghazali. For obvious reasons, he was charged by the Ghana Football Association for unsporting behavior involving himself in the ball boy during the defeat against Madiama, the TNA. He's currently in the stands at the Hohoe Stadium monitoring the game from the VIP section of the stadium. It will be interesting to find out what the final decision from the GFA will be.
Ireland, he's 7 a 1 game suspension.
One game
suspension, so he's not going to be in the dugout for them, but he's still working. And it happens in football sometimes. Everyone loses their cool at some point, and it will happen to him. But he's a fine gentleman. He's a good coach, and he understands the game. He understands it.
The good side of it is that he's gone on to apologize. So life goes on for Ghazali. Bare feet is beaten to it by Odro. Great pace on the left. Here comes William Odro up against Bayfi. He goes down, but this time is a clean challenge from Bayfi.
He comes out on top at this point. Bayfi losing out possession to his opposite number. Just look at that. And Odro just having a final touch, just trying to hit that one a bit, trying to outpace Bayfi at that point, but Bayfi staying grounded, not allowing Odro any space at all.
Kwame with a clearance. Yao Bayfi. Kujo. Baba. He goes to Benjamin Asari. And I tell you what, this is the first time since 9th November that Asari has been in the post for the Phobians. His last game for Azovok was that 1-0 defeat against Asante Kotoko. Ever since then, he's not been part of the team. He's either on national team duties or he's injured. Agbasi did well, but Asari is back to take his rightful place.
Yeah, the coach had to clear the we were speaking about that, but the coach just had to set the record straight, stating emphatically that Asari makes us number one, and that comes to no surprise at all. But he's the Black Stars number one, and you always expect him to be the number one for his club side as well.
Upon Frani, Esubonte picks out Hamza Isa with the outside of his foot, but Hamza can't keep the ball in for the Phobians.
That looks a bit sloppy. Hamza should be keeping that one. It wasn't a bad ball. The technique from Esubonte with the outside of his foot to find Hamza there. He had space, but it looked a bit overhit for him. Just couldn't find a firm grip.
Kelvin Esibe, George Parku. Poor ball in by Parku. Bangura. The left back goes down from the challenge of Henry Boateng. Free kick for Hohoe United.
That was a good call, and just close to 30 minutes into the game, and Hearts of Oak still committing men forward, playing with 2 number 10s, in Hussein and then also Pakuba. Nothing, yet from these 2 creative players.
There's a push on Esubontin, a decision that has been greeted with an uproar in disapproval by the home fans, but referee Riley had it spot on. Ati was all over Esubontin right there.
Of course, there's Ati heckling Esubontin at that point. Esubontin putting his body in between the ball, and Senati denying him clear contact with the ball, and Senati only had to use his arms illegally at that point.
There's a push on Bangura by Henry Boateng. Referee getting the decision right again.
In the opening exchanges, we saw some good moves from Accra Hearts. The passage of play, especially whenever they wanted to enter the attacking third, was so swift, and it has been sloppy in the last 10 minutes, by the Phobians. We've not really seen those clean balls, be hit into spaces. We started winning the second balls earlier on, and it's something Hohoe United, has dominated since after the 20th minute mark.
Half an hour at the Hohoe Stadium, Stella Saturday Ghana Premier League Match Day 18. Hohoe United 0, Hearts 0.
And their woes continue. It's the biggest problem for these 2 teams. Goal scoring always a big problem for them, especially Hearts of Oak. You expect Hohoe United to also keep knocking. If you're playing at home, you can blank or go scoreless in 2 straight games, and that's a worry for them.
Daniel Osei puts the pass wrong, and here is Paku. Can get it right for Hamza Isa. Here is Odro. Too much weight on that one for William Odro.
You ask what Bayfi was doing at that point, heading that ball to no one in particular, nearly setting up Odro for a quick counter.
Daniel Osei. Paul Kwame Osei. Miscommunication between Prince Amevo and Kwame, but Amevo does well to keep the possession for Hohoe United. Another throw-in for the home side.
And for Hohoe United, it's been their favorite region of attack, using the right hand side where you have Amevo and then also Senati. Those 2 combine so well every time they try to bump forward. We've not seen them create a lot of chances.
Amevo's throw-in, flicked on by Losim Bekwi and calmly collected by Asari.
And we're trying to use that long throw to the advantage, and Bekwi would always be the target man in instances like that. Positions himself very, very well, but I think that ball has just beaten him. Really getting to the end of it.
Hamza Isa with an overhead kick. Brilliant from Hamza. Quick thinking. Unlucky not to have found the back of the net. That's some quick thinking. What a way to improvise.
In between the 2 centre-backs, he just maneuvers his way in there. Paul Kwame was there, so was Adomako. And just look at them having a word. Because no one knowing who Azali had to deal with that trade, but that was a good hit by Hamza Isa. And that nearly fed them the first goal. 4
goals so far from the Hearts of Oak, number 17 and top striker. But here comes Ati Losim Bekwi. That's some clever defending from Baba Adamu.
He had to put his body on the line, Baba Adamu. Bekwi was just racing onto the ball. And the next touch definitely would have been a shot at Benjamin Asai, but then Adamu recovers quickly. It just goes down to clear that one.
Kojo Boama with the corner, and it goes out for a goal kick. Boama scored against Kotoko Royals from a direct corner during the Division 1 before they qualified to the Premier League. And that game was played at the Achimota Stadium, and it was that game that sealed their qualification. But ever since their promotion into the Premier League, it's been ups and downs for the Hohoe number 10.
He has the quality, Nana. He has the quality, and one would be asking, why is he not doing it in the Premier League? But perhaps he was just trying it for the first time here. But we've seen him score spectacular goals from dead ball situations. He has that, ability to hit it cleanly in any situation, but not this time. And they need to be making the most out of the dead ball situations they get. We saw that long throw, nearly troubling Hearts.
Kojo. Baba. He finds Esubontain. So much space between the Azabok midfield and the attack. And it's same for Hohoe United. They're, closing in on the Phobians, and that's why they are enjoying much of the possession, but it's not yielding anything positive.
Well, exactly, Nana, and they are dealing with the first two lines, and it's not really helping with the high press. We've not seen any of these teams commit to the high press when they are without the ball. It tells you that they know that the strength of either side is definitely in midfield and in defense, and that's why we are seeing vast space between the attack and the midfield. For Hartlepool, we've seen it, and for Hohoe United as well, we've seen Osman Sofian just move a bit too wide, and then also Buildup staying up front, and no one finding him.
Here is the captain, Osman Sofian, now lost in Buildup, gives the ball away. Amevo, brilliant, back heel to find Osei. Osei is putting most of his passes wrong this afternoon, but the flag goes up against Amevo. Didi Dramani is furious. I've seen him running towards the assistant referee.
And the complaints will continue for Didi, but for Amevo, he had no business going for that ball. He wasn't in an offside position, before that ball came to him. He did a good move. He was a right move, and he's been their best player so far on the pitch in the opening, 6 minutes or so. But he just needs to make the right decisions whenever he moves into the third half. He needs to make some good decisions, and that could yield something.
Here is Kelvin Osei-Sibe. He's been wearing the captain's armband in the absence of Benjamin Asari, and in this absence, Esibe truly led this team well, bringing them to top 4 places before that defeat last weekend at the TNA took them to the 5th spot. Here is Baba, but the pass was not good enough. He was aiming at Esubontin, but couldn't quite get it well done.
Yeah, it looks painful to watch, Nana. If you're a Hearts-of-Oak supporter, it's a bit sluggish for me. They have the quality to bump forward, and sometimes people question the risk they could take in the attacking third. We've not seen much of that, and Baba is not also your natural left back, that attacking-minded left back to give you options up front. I wasn't surprised with that low, quality ball into the channel, but they need to get better. They need to do something, about the final delivery that could get them the goal.
Hamza Isa. Just unlucky. Just trying to get things done, but they end up over-elaborating Hearts-of-Oak.
Yeah, that's the problem with this Hearts-of-Oak side this afternoon. They are taking too many touches, too many touches up front. They just need to stick to the simple decisions, the simple things in football, especially when you get to the third half. Just find the closest marker, hit one long ball, cross the ball when you have to, and definitely you could make something happen.
The last time Hohoe United won a game at home was on the 7th of December when they beat Asante Kotoko by 1-0 here.
So that's much.
And I tell you what, they've not won a game since then.
That's a long time coming. And that's a long time ago. And that's why the fans are not happy. That's why they are furious. Because that's the reason why TJ got a sack. Because you just can't go 4 games without winning. They've gone a whole month without winning a game here.
But TJ had a very good start to life in the Premier League. He picked up 8 points out of a possible 15 as a debutant in the Premier League, including an opening day draw against Hartlepool. But afterwards, when they were trying to keep an impeccable home record of not losing to any side like they did in the Division 1, Adriana came here to beat them, and that's where their troubles began. Now they have a free kick to defend Hohoe United.
Yeah, so 2 defeats, in their first 9 home games of the season, and you lose to Gold Stars, you lose to Adriana, and you drop points against teams like 11 Wonders. It doesn't look good for you, and regardless what the situation might be for them, the gaffer would definitely, feel the pressure, and that's why he got the sack. And I think that's why they are looking at turning things around.
Hearts of a free kick. Henry Boateng and George Parku goes over it. Hamza Esubontain. All of them together with Opanfani in that box. Boateng goes over it. George Parku swings one in. Esibe was lurking, didn't get a touch. Kujo gets the ball in. Here is Henry Boateng, George Parku. Ball is cleared away eventually by Sena Ati. It's Lawson Bekwe. Amankwa Beifi did well to get in the way of Lawson Bekwe. And Asari will applaud the effort of Yao Beifi.
And I'm sure everyone is enjoying that matchup between Amankwa Beifi and then also Bekwe. It's more like a mismatch, but you find Amankwa Beifi using the space to his advantage each and every time he comes up against Bekwe. Bekwe has the strength, but he's not the fastest on the pitch. He doesn't have the pace of Amankwa Beifi, and Amankwa Beifi at that point, it was an intelligent play to put his body on the line, stick in the leg and win that ball.
Hamza Isa. Henry Boateng lays one. Not too sure what Esubontain was intending to do with that scoop.
It was needless. I think it was needless at that point. You just don't go with that decision. You just go with a pinpoint pass instead of trying to go for the scoop. Because there were about 3 Hohoe United defenders around, and there was no way he was going to win that.
Mohamed Hussein for the Phobians, he goes down, and they've been dominating in possession. It's fair to peg them at 55-45, slightly ahead of the home side.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, and that's a game plan from Hohoe United each and every time. Even when they're playing at home, they try to be a bit more conservative. They don't want to keep the ball more. They would rather deal with the strength they have in attack, where they have the speedsters in Odro, and then also Senati, and then up front there's Safiano right behind the Queen.
Senati, Parku. Beifi. He had to kick the ball out because flag had already gone up for a decision in favor of the home side.
I think the flag going up there indicates an offside. You're wondering who was offside, but I think it was a slow reaction to staying onside for Hartlepool. They are getting everything done. Yeah, we spoke about the fact that possession is going in their favor, but what do you do with the possession? I think they've not really been promising with it.
Kojo Boama is trying to pick out William Odro, but again, flag goes up. Odro is offside.
A series of late runs. Hartlepool being caught not long ago, and then Hohoe United, it tells you that these attackers are just slow to react, but that was the incident again, and just look at that. A bit close, very, very close there. Odro not fortunate.
Some 2 minutes away from the break. No goals here at the Hohoe Stadium. Here is Opanfani for the home side. For the away side, he finds Enoch Esubontain. Back for Baba. Esibe surges forward, sends a through ball looking for Hamza Isa. Flag stays down. Hamza is onside. Esibe swings in across, headed away by Paul Kwame. Back for Hassan. Here is Hussein. Enoch Esubontin, one of the liveliest players on the field for the Phobians. Cujo. Asari's ball is trying to pick out Boateng. Bangura with the clearance. But if he heads it down, here is Henry Boateng. He's very skillful on the ball and difficult to dispossess, but he was up against two men and Ojo gets it away. Baba. Rustum Senogbe is indicating 4 minutes of additional time as we approach the 45. It's Hatsabok and Hohoe United drawing goalless here before half-time. Clever one from Gordon Cujo. Hamza Isa, a shot late for that one, and Kweku Musa will collect it for the home side. Gordon Cujo. Ball is cleared by Prince Amevo. Beifi loses the aerial challenge to a draw. Here is Lawson Bekui. Outnumbered, and here is Afrani. Hussein will step forward. Brought down by Amevo. Free kick out Savok. Hussein has been on a 3-match ban. He's returned to add some creativity into the Altabuk midfield. With that little flick, he was trying to go past Amevo. Had no option than to bring him down. Hearts have a free kick. It's 45 minutes here at the Hohoe Stadium. Hohoe United 0, Hatsabok 0. Paku's delivery. Adumaku nearly caught snapping, but he did well to redeem himself with that clearance. Here is Paku. Now Boateng squeezes one looking for Hamza Isa. But you'd love the defensive organization of Hohoe United. The telepathy between Amevo, Bangura, Paul Kwame, and then Adomaku has been impressive. Upon Frani to Baba Adamu. Kwame with a clearance, throwing Hatsabok. Hamza Isa, his effort has drifted wide for a goal kick. It's not happening for the Alzabuk top man. He had an overhead kick going wide a couple of minutes ago. He's currently the only recognizable Hatsabuk out-and-out striker, Hamza Isa. And the question is whether he's been overburdened to provide the goals for the Phobians. One player they've also relied on to bang in the goals for them is Maoli Wayoho. Starts from the bench this afternoon. It's halftime at the Hohoe Sports Stadium, match day 18 of the Ghana Premier League. Troubled Hohoe United, who lie 17th on the league log, have not been able to hit the back of the net at halftime, and the title-chasing Phobians have also not been able to score. But it's been a decent game to observe as a neutral, with Hohoe on top in terms of possession at 55, but no goals so far. Half-time at the Hohoe Sports Stadium. Hohoe United, 0. Hearts of Oak, 0.
All right, so halftime here at the Hohoe Stadium, and it's Hohoe United goalless, or drawing goalless against Accra Hearts of Oak in our second match day 18 fixture. My name is Joseph Kukwe, and I've been joined by the assistant head coach of Hohoe United, Coach Ayipa. Coach, first of all, let me take your quick thoughts on the first 45. Have you been pleased with the setup? You know, you're not attacking, you've considered possession to Hearts of Oak, you're creating fewer chances. Have you been pleased?
Thank you very much. I'm not really that satisfied with the way we play. We allow them to dominate in midfield, and that is how come they possess much better than us, because they do a lot of beautiful build-up from the back, and then we are not able to press either high or at least even maybe medium pressing. We are not even able. We allow them to bring the ball up to the center line, then they give the balls to their midfielders and they play. I'm not really happy. I think we need to step up.
Okay, all right. So wish you all the best in the second 45. So that's Coach Ayipa, the assistant head coach, and he's assuming the role of an interim head coach now until next week, where their new head coach, who was outdoored not long ago, will step into the dugout. Now I've been joined by the assistant head coach of Accra Hearts of Oak. You know that the previous coach, or that's Coach Ghazali, 7-1 match suspension. So, Coach, quickly, let me take your thoughts. Have you been pleased? Chances created? How the team is playing? Already, you've scored the fewest goals in the Ghana Premier League from the inception of the league this season. Have you been pleased with your attacking play?
Oh, not really, but you could see in the game, it's a gradual process and it's a working in progress. Definitely, once we identify our weaknesses, we are working on it to be improved on the final test. We are not very pleased with what we are getting from the final test.
All right. So thank you very much. So that's a start, quick one from him. He believes that they can improve in certain areas in the second half. We're still here at the Hohoe Stadium, and it's match day 18, still a Saturday kickoff, where Hearts of Oak are drawing or holding Hohoe United to a goalless draw. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more after the break. All right, so it's goalless at a break in our stellar Saturday fixture. Hohoe United holding Accra Hearts of Oaks to a goalless stalemate. So they are not entirely safe if you're looking at the standings as of now. But then I'm still here with Francis Aboibo Blackgate. Francis, what a first half we just witnessed. But let's quickly go through the stats here after the first half. And obviously no goal scored yet. But then 2 shots for Hearts of Oak, just 1 from the Hope side. No shots on target, so it means that both goalkeepers have virtually been on a holiday, but then 60% possession going to Accra Hearts of Oak, 1 corner each, and then the fouls tilting slightly in favor of Hohoe United, which is a good thing. It means that they are doing a chunk of the defending. But what do you have to say about the first 45, Francis?
Well, the statistics actually puts everything together for you to see, because if you look at what transpired in that first 45 minutes, they tried to combine beautifully in central midfield, but the transition into the attacking channels has been the problem of both teams. You look at Hearts of Oak, the movement up front is not working. I don't know if it's the midfield combinations that coach Didi Dramani managed to put out this afternoon here at the Hohoe Sports Center. Because you look at George Panku, Opon Afrani, as well as Mohamed Hussein, they're from the trio of midfielders. And up front, you look at Enoch Esobonten. He's trying to hack the byline, but he's not making the premium decisions. And you look at the movement of Hamza Issa up front. He has been left redundant in this game. He's not hugging the game properly. And if you look at Lawson Bekwe on that particular occasion, and that was the clearest chance Hohoe United carved out in that game. Yeah. He managed to heckle Kevin Osiasibe together with Gordon Kujo. But the final decision-making leaves much to be designed. That has been the problem for Hohoe United. You look at both teams, they have empowered, but in terms of the decision-making on top of the pitch, none of them were clinical enough. Then you look at the game in entirety. All the actions have happened in central midfield. Kojo Buama, for the first time in about 8 to 9 matches, partnering the captain of the team, Usman Safian, together with Osei Senior, at the heart of the midfield for Hohoe United. The transition has to be quick, but I think they are not making the right decisions at the right time.
We've seen these two teams, and you look at the statistics after the first 17 games, and it gives you the indication that they are low-scoring sides. But we've not seen anything. What do they need to do, especially with Hohoe United, where Safianu, after missing a penalty in the Volta derby, has gone virtually missing in this game?
Yeah, you look at him in this game. He has been left redundant in the game. He's lost. I don't know the kind of distant patterns that were like information that were given to him prior to the game, but it looks like he's out of sorts. He doesn't know where to go, whether to search forward or to drop deep. He has been languishing around the center circle, and his decision making is not the best in this game. The coaches have to spot that and give him a clear role heading into the second half if they are supposed to push him up front. Because you look at Lawson Bekwe on top of the pitch. He has been left isolated to have a crack at the center. And you look at Kevin Osiasibe and Gordon Kujo, they are managing to get the ball off him. So they need to get an extra body to get close to him, to play around him over his shoulder so that they can be able to link up properly on top of the pitch. Then look at what Hearts of Oak themselves are doing. Yeah. They are trying to use the left flank of attack where you have Enoch Esobonten. But the problem with Enoch Esobonten is his decision making, and he's supposed to come clean. Because when you play there, George Parku is being restricted this afternoon. He's not surging forward. He needs to go up front. And you look at the bench of Hearts of Oak. They have Collison on the bench. And he's someone that has proven that he can be able to carry the ball and progress the ball properly. You look at Hohoe United. They are trying to overload the side of Baba Adamu, which is the left back position of Hearts of Oak, where you have Senati. But Senati is confronted with another guy who will not give you a full day. All the 1v1 target, Baba Adamu managed to get a better chunk of the battles. So Prince Amevo is trying to deal properly with Enoch Esobontin. And the two coaches is clear. For them to win this game, they've got to get to the bench and vary their tactics going into the second half.
It's clear at halftime, and we're still having that conversation. But let me quickly ask you about, the variations now. Hearts of Oak would normally go into an away game with a 3-back or a 5-back system. Today they're stuck with a 4-back, and you have Adamu playing as an unorthodox or unusual left back over there. Are they not taking risk enough? You think they are just not pushing more men in up front?
Well, if you look at Baba Adamu, where he plays, he's someone we've seen him orchestrate about 3-4 decent passes into attacking channels, and that is one of his qualities. He's not a flat left back like you say. He's an orthodox left back, but he's playing very well this afternoon. The issue here is the midfield combinations for Hearts of Oak is not working. He started with a 4-3-3 formation, where you are playing George Parku together with Mohamed Hussein. Mohamed Hussein plays very well in the number 10 role, but this afternoon he's been dropped back deep into central midfield. So for Coach Didi Dramani, if he's supposed to take away Henry at the other flank and then switch the formation to a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2, I think they will carry much more threat into attacking time, because in that first half, Hamza Issa has been left redundant. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's yet to have any decent shot on goal. So it's clear that the coaches need to do something. But for Hohoe United, they just need to get Usman Safian, the captain of the team, to play closer to Lawson Bekwe on top of the pitch. And if they can get Francis Odum onto the pitch, he has shown in some of the games that he has played that he's someone that can heckle people. And Lawson Bekwe can benefit from the second ball off his shoulders. If they can do that and replicate it properly into the second half, then someone will break their deadlock here at the Hohoe Sports Stadium.
But we've seen two hearts of our attacking players, Martin Kakari and then also Mauli Wayo, hit onto the pitch right after the other, players went down the tunnel into the dressing room. What sort of changes as Coach Masoud Didi Dramani
Well, you look at both teams, you see them, they play on both flanks, left flank and right flank. Enoke Subontin and Henry on the other side of the pitch. They've not given any decent account of themselves. So I wouldn't be surprised if the coach will effect those two substitutions going into the second half.
But we talk about Hohoe United, the home side. They've only won 3 times in 9 games in the first round this year. This is their 10th home game. You think a draw will be okay for them, looking at what they want to do, trying to survive in the Ghana Premier League in their first season?
Well, they have to be daring. If you don't take risks, you don't succeed. And in this game, the game is up there for the taking. They've got to take the game more into the hands of Hohoe United and try to see if Hearts of Oak will crack under pressure, because you've got to play to the energy of the fans, and you need to add an extra bite up front. The lone man up front in Lawson Bekwe is not working. So if you can add Francis Odum and vary the tactics and try to push Usman Safian to play right in front, behind them in that hole, he can be able to carry much more threat going into the attacking, and I think they'll be able to cause problems to Hearts of Oak in the second half.
We know Hohoe United to be a team that love playing on the wide areas, the wing play. We've seen Senati at the right-hand side, William Udru at the left-hand side. What do these two players need to do to find Safian and then also Bekui?
It's clear that Baba Adamu has put the brakes on Senati. Basically, sometimes they have to vary the movement of the player. Sometimes you just have to switch the position of the players and see. You look at William Udru in the first half, he has not been that daring like we know. He normally carries the ball explosive, move forward straight. But in this game, he has not carried that much more threat. So they have to tell him to be direct in terms of his runs. And I think he will cause problems more in the second half.
Right, so confirmation or information we are picking up is that Mauli Wayo is on now. Nisbontin has been drawn off. And Mauli Wayo definitely will be adding some bite up front. And it's still the Saturday or Stellar Saturday matchup here at the Hohoe Stadium, where Hohoe United are currently drawing goalless against Accra Hearts of Oak. We join the feed for the second 45.
Welcome back for second half of this big one at the Hohoe Stadium. Hearts of Oak against Hohoe United, the home side. A side in search of a massive revival to get their dreams of staying in the Premier League still alive, up against a side who knows too well that a win here will put their title chase really on track. The second half, just a few seconds from beginning, and we're expecting a very keenly contested second half between these two, Hearts of Oak and Hohoe United. It's the away side who gets us going for second half action here at the Hohoe Stadium. Paku starts for second half at this venue, the Hohoe Stadium, for the Phobians. Asari with an early ball in for Hearts of Oak. Henry Boateng. Adoma Kwatu stretched to get the ball away. Upon Frane is an awkward clearance from Amebo. And Hearts of Oak have the first corner of the second half. Henry Boateng bends one to the far post. Esibe heads it down. Chance for Hearts, but Musa right there. He's shown some alertness and calmness. Now Sena Ati, this should be a card. Baba Adamu will be lucky not to get a yellow card. He fouled Sena Ati, Then it's a yellow card for Baba Adamu for that clumsy challenge on Senat. He was completely beaten, Baba Adamu.
He got beaten. I don't know if it was a drop in concentration, but he had that ball. He totally had control of that ball until, you know, that ball got stolen from him. Look at that. It was just clumsy from him. His arms all around Senati. And it was the right call. Just fortunate that he wasn't given the marching orders. Perhaps if he had been the last man, it would have been a red card for him.
Yellow card towards the box. Baba Adamu, the big centre back who is playing as a left back or a left wing back in today's game. Kojo Boama to take the free kick. Boama sets up one for Senati. Chance, it's Safian Osman. Golden opportunity. Missed again by Usman.
It's a bigger chance of the game. We've not seen him virtually the whole game. But at one time, he gets the ball fall to him. You know, you were thinking, was he striking a goal? He was just trying to set up a teammate, but that flashes across the face of goal, and that was Paul Kwame just trying to, you know, just improvise and get something on it. Oh, he was a second late. A fraction of a second late for Paul Kwame. But they would have some injury worries, and
yeah, because you get the feeling that he might come up worse after this one.
Azali, and
he threw
if you watch that again, you could see what he was trying to do, and an attempt, you know, to just throw himself at the ball, just trying to connect with his feet, just ends up colliding against the upright.
The centre back wanted to get his name on the score sheet. He's already on one goal this season. That earlier, the injury sustained by Esubonten before his exit for Mauliwayo.
I think Kwame Paul should be fine now. Or Kwame should be fine after receiving treatment.
Baba Adamu with a cross in, collected by Kweku Musa.
And the pep talk seemed to be working. It seemed to be evident what both teams wanted their players to do, and it's so clear. We've seen end-to-end start already in less than 5 minutes into the second half, and it tells you that, you know, none of these teams are relenting.
Musa nearly giving the ball away. He had to kick it straight into the advancing Hamza Issa.
And that unfortunately comes off the face of Hamza Issa, who still continues to be in pain. That's insane, yeah. But he should be okay, yeah, he is okay. But Musa left off the hook at that point, just saved by the face of Hussein. That would have been a costly error for him.
Amevo tries to pick out Senati, but Adamu is first to the ball, but he's considered a throw-in.
Whenever these two combine, it's always dangerous for Hartlepool, and Adamu gets to be the culprit. He just gets to suffer, you know, the pace of these two players.
Ati Boama, now Prince Amevo. Sena Ati on the right side, back to Amevo. He swings in across, and Asari fails to deal with it. But Henry Boateng will step up for the Forbians. Brought down by Safian Usman for a free kick to the Forbians.
Again, miscommunication on the part of the Hartlepool defense. Asari not on the same page with his defense, and that nearly cost him them. A couple of weeks ago, in the away game against Karela, they conceded in similar fashion, and they should just be careful.
Paul Kwame's clearance. Now Bangura to Usman. He gives it away to Paku. Esibe calls on Asari.
has been calm. Seen some flashes of attacking display, but that's not what gets you the goal, especially if they're hard to work. And
a missed kick by Bangura, and Hamza will take advantage. Tries to find Boateng. Hearts of a throw. Paku sends in a cross and it's straight to Musa. Commanding goalkeeping from Kweku Musa.
That was great goalkeeping, good awareness by Musa. Step out of his line and collect that one calmly.
Lovely play from Hohoe United. The combination between Ati and Amevo, simply awesome. Now Bangura. Kwejo Buama. Uncharacteristically gives it away. He tries to get on it, but it's Azabok who will move into dangerous space. It's brought into Hamza. Flag goes up. Hamza Isa is offside.
Yeah, run made too early, but then those two trying to combine, and it was a good run by the Hearts of Oak winger there. Just look at that. And it's a bit fraction offside here, if you should ask me, but Hamza should have done enough to have stayed on side. He just moved a second quicker. And smart defending from the defense of Hohoe United. They're allowing spaces now. In the first half, they looked a bit compact, but in the second half, you could see them trying to commit more men forward, and that's just leaving out spaces for Hearts of Oak to attack.
Adomako. It's Hohoe on the move, but Bangura shit late for that one.
Nearly making that forward run. That would have yielded something, but Hearts of Oak should also be careful. Now, we've seen both teams, trying to throw more men forward, and I think that's what the pep talk was about. We just can't drop points here.
Musa heads the ball away from danger. Now Buama. Bangura gives away possession, and here's Yamanko Beifi. Mauliwayo stays onside, but that's good recovery from William Odro. He realized that Bangura had left his space. He needed to go back and do the defensive duties, and did that really well.
Yeah, and it's a team sport. It's a team sport. Once someone leaves the position, you try to step in there. But then it's Mauliwayo who just came on for his Subontain. And he's fresher than ever in this game, and they would really have to be careful kind of pace he adds to the side.
Watson's corner. Adomako rises together with Esibe, and Kweku Musa grabs it firmly. It's Adamu against Ati. But Kujo arrives to mop up for the Phobians.
Yeah, and after picking up the yellow card, you could see that something has been taken away from Adamu at the left back position. Yeah, you could give him credit for playing today in that position where it's unusual of him to play. Yeah, he's a left-footed centre back, but playing over there.
Flag up for offside against Henry Boateng, but that was a lovely first touch to try to reach Hussein.
Yeah, and it's a dangerous play, very, very dangerous play. And just look at that. You have two attackers there in the offside zone.
Mauliwayo bringing down Prince Amevo. Rather strangely, Hohoe United, they have a player down but decided to continue with the play.
I think it's Amevo, and it's Mauliwayo. I think who just makes contact with the ankle of Amevo. And that's what he's going to bring to the side in the remaining minutes. Mauliwayo, he'll press very, very high. He'll try to win, those balls and try and turn, defense into attack quickly.
It's 55 minutes at the Hohoe Stadium. It's Hohoe United 0, Hearts of Oak 0. Another throw-in for the home side. Judge Paku. Amanko Abeifi to Ose Sibe. Gordon Kojo. Mawoliwayo, good ball to Paku, trying to get to Hamza Isa, but Adomako reaches there and finds Kweku Musa, who clears the ball away from danger. Sofiane Osman to Losim Bekwi, but it's still Hohoe United. Sofiane Osman onto the right. Here is Sena Ati for the home side, but he can't go past Baba Adamu. Resolute defending from the Azabok left back.
He had to be on his feet. He had to stay on alert. Afrani giving away a cheap ball, and it was Adamu who had to clean the mess at that point. We spoke about the fact that the yellow card had really taken out something away from him, but that was just brave defending by the Azabok makeshift left back.
Injury concern for Hohoe United's right back, Prince Amevo, after that challenge from Mawoliwayo. He's barely put a foot wrong in this afternoon's game, Amevo. He was on the bench last weekend, and it was obvious from the reaction of the fans when he came on that he's truly a home favorite, and it's justified why the fans gave him the standing ovation during his entry last weekend.
Yeah, he stole the headlines with limited minutes. He has that blistering pace, you know, at the right-hand side. He can join the attack if he wants to, but you know, he does the job decently.
Free kick, but before the free kick is taken, Stephen Diu will make his debut for Hohoe United. He takes the place of William Ojo. It's a like-for-like. Ojo, unfortunately, did not really sparkle like he did against Kotoko in this afternoon's game. He makes way for the new signing, Stephen Diu. Diu played for Insoacheman before the collapse of the club. He represented them in the African Confederations Cup. Now Kojobuama's delivery straight to Asari.
Not the best of deliveries. Well, Asari wouldn't get beaten by that. You talk about that earlier substitution. DU, tricky customer as always.
Safian with a drive and a straight to Asari again.
Again, another chance wasted, but Safianu trying his luck. Just hoping to try his luck from a distance. Again, that not beaten Benjamin Asari.
Safian Usman wins the foul for Azabok after that challenge from Hussein.
Yeah, after going virtually, you know, on a holiday in the first half, he's really been the star man for them, pulling the strings.
Chance for Hohoe United, lost in Bekwi. Hohoe United dominating the game in the second. Lost in Bekwi, and Asari, he shows great calmness, not in a rush, because if he had overreacted, he could have ended up fouling Lost in Bekwi.
Yeah, he had to, but look at Lost Bekwe, and look at how he's played. You know, watching the shoulders of the two centre-backs, making that run in between, and it was a good ball. But Asari reacting perfectly to that ball. And all Lawson had to do was to just make an earlier run and try to connect that, but give credit to the heart of a goalkeeper, reading the situation and saving the day for his side.
We've hit the hour mark. No goals here in Hohoe as these fans wait patiently for what could spark the stadium into wild.
It would be pandemonium. You know, exactly a week ago, we're here, we saw Safian missed that penalty, and before he kicked that penalty, you would have heard the sound of a pin drop in the stadium. It was quiet until he missed it, and you know, it just broke the hearts of Hohoe United fans, and this afternoon they're still waiting for that goal.
Hatzabok knows what it takes to win away from home. As a matter of fact, the last time Hatzabok won away from home was on the 2nd of November on match day 8 against Basekioli Stars, where they won by 2-1 with goals coming from Hamza and Frank Duku.
It's been a long time, over 2 months without a win on the road. And they still boast of one of the best records on the road, ironically.
Absolutely, they've got 9 away games, 9 wins, 4 draws, and only 2 losses. They've scored 5 and conceded 4 in the process. So they've been relatively good away from home, Harzabok.
Yeah, per the average numbers of away sides in the league, you'd say that these are good numbers. But you look at their home form, and it's contrasting. They are not really that good at home, and that's why they find themselves 6 points behind the first place team, Mediama Sporting Club.
Hamza Isa, Baba Damu, Wayo. Lovely ball from Kujo. Wayo with a bend, but he flies over the bar. Maoli Wayo. His movement was exquisite. He just had to get the delivery right on target. Good run from Wayo.
Yeah, good run. Managed to stay on side. Just look at that. He just watched the offside line and break through with so much ease, but just look at that. It was an acute angle. He was just trying to finesse from that angle. It was just not going to work for him. It was a run.
Sofian Usman. Kwejo Boama. Prince Amevo. Daniel Osei. Sena Ati. Osei is trying to pick out Amevo. That's a heavy push. Kujo was overly aggressive and physical with this one. Gordon Kujo. That was harsh on Amevo.
Yeah, you'd wonder why the right back of Hohoe United has won the most fouls for his side, because he's making the forward runs. He's getting into promising areas, and this time it was Kujo who was a bit reckless to me. Just look at that. No intentions of winning the ball, and that's a bookable offense.
He'll be lucky not to get a yellow card, because this was absolutely needless. Duku and Kakari warming up on the touchlines for the Phobians. Hohoe United have lost 7 times this season. They've won 1 in their last 5 Premier League games and 3 defeats in their last 4, with no single goal scored in their last 4 games and 4 goals conceded. Something Didi Dramani would want to take advantage of, but he simply doesn't have the antidote, at least in the opening 65 minutes.
Yeah, and you can sense the frustration clearly growing in for Accra Hartsville. You know, coming up against a side that are winless in their last 4, losing games here on this ground, then you think you just need to capitalize on that, and they are failing to do that so far in the game.
Kwejo Boama to take the free kick. These fans know what he can conjure, Boama. .65 minutes. Hatzabok to defend this free kick to be taken by Kwejo Boama. And for some reasons, referee has delayed the free kick as Paul Kwame and Kujo has been called up for a caution.
He has to. He knows that one of the players that will be targeted in the box is definitely Paul Kwame, who has the height.
Boama delivers, and he rises above the goal post for a goal kick.
Another awful delivery for Kwame. But this time, Boama. Just look at that. You're thinking Paul Kwame is a bit of mark over there. Perhaps whipping that to the far end. Someone could just connect to that one, but unfortunately, he just decides to go for goal.
Double substitution for Azabok. Henry Kwekubuatin, he's had an amazing game. He goes off for Frank Abora Duku as Mohamed Hussein makes way for Martin Kakari. Didi Dramani stepping up to make these tactical decisions.
Yeah, you just look at what he's doing, and all three substitutions in the second half have been attacking substitutions. He brought on Mauliwayo, he's brought in Duku, and then also Martin Kakari. He tells you one thing, he has his eyes on the 3 points. They are not scoring goals, but he knows at this point winning maximum points in this game will be crucial to their title ambitions.
Wayo is racing hard to get this one, but he can't get to it. He ended up kicking the pitch microphone in frustration.
It tells you the determination he had wanted to win that ball with Mauliwayo. And he never stops running. That's one of the things you'd always credit him for. He never stops running.
But he shouldn't be kicking our working too, Mauliwayo.
Perhaps that was an accident. I don't think there was any malice in it.
Sena Ati on his bike on the right side is racing, and that's a clean tackle from Baba Damu. Boama, good pass to Safiano Usman. He turns around, creates a space, chance for Hohoe United. Hasabok defend their lines well.
Too many touches, too many.
Prince Amevo swings in across, chance for Hohoe, and Asari dives onto that one to avoid the danger.
And it starts with that run, that surging run by Senati up front. And they are targeting Adamu now, but just look at that. You have bodies in the box, and this is what they failed to do in the first half. And the ball falling to DU. He's not the tallest to connect to that. And it was a feeble header by the former Inter-Triman attacker. You just need to be careful now, Hartevok.
Bangura is trying to pick out DU. Last touch coming off Kujo. So DU won a free kick as a matter of fact. "15 fouls on the side of the Phobians and 12 for Hohoe United. It's been one of a very intensive physical battles between these sets of players, Josiah. Chance for Hartsabok. Martin Kakari, good block by Adomako. Great defending. This certainly will also be a card, yellow card for Osei Sibe. The big question is, was he the last man? Yellow card.
Yeah, it's a yellow card, definitely. But he wasn't the last man. He wasn't going to get a match in orders, but that's the strength of Bekoe. That's how they need to play to his strength. Just look at that. In between the lines again, and Kevin Osei had no other option than to foul him. Yeah, maybe he would have had Kujo recovering, but it wasn't certain they were going to win that ball, and they just had to bring him down to salvage the situation.
Confirmation of Esibe's yellow card as we hit 70 minutes. No goals. Usman, here is DU, Stephen DU. That cutback took a wicked deflection of Duku for a Hohoe United corner. Corner taken by Bangura, headed away by Osei Sibe.
There's the trickery he plays with DU. Yep.
Adomaku falls down, a chance for Hamza Isa. Can he score? And Hamza goes down from the challenge of Paul Kwame. Referee doesn't think there was anything in the challenge by Paul Kwame. Dramatic happenings here at the Hohoe Sports Stadium.
Yeah, but then it looked like he had put a muzzle. Adomako, just look at that. A slow reaction by Hamza Issa, no awareness whatsoever. He doesn't know the danger that was coming. But that was lovely from Paul Kwame to go down in time and win it. Perfect timing of the ball to win that ball. And Hamza Issa should bow down his head in shame. He should be converting that. He should be hitting, aiming for the target. But unfortunately, he just didn't know what he was doing at that point. Snap in concentration and good recovery, perfect recovery. And just look at Kwame racing down, and he does so well. Made enough contact with the ball. No qualms, no questions about that.
A beautiful chance served on a silver plate. Your own is to just keep your calmness, your composure, and put the ball at the back of the net, especially when you know you are aiming to win the Premier League title.
Yes, Ali.
Big chance missed by Hamza Issa.
Yes, a big chance gone begging, and there's a man who gets frustrated each and every time something like that happens. But Hamza Issa, per his quality as a striker, you know, in the Ghana Premier League, he should be bearing that. He should at least be making an attempt.
Bad news for Hohoe United. Solomon Adomako, the reliable defender, has come off injured. As Kojo Boama looks on. Thinking he might be the one to be taken out. But Coach Boniface Ayipa will be responding to those changes done by Didi Dramani pretty soon. So my guess is right. Boama has made way for Ebenezer Amega.
Another speed star, more attacking-minded player. Saw Boama playing in that double pivot together with Osei Senior. Amega would definitely give them some width, you know, with those mazy runs up front. He would also want to time his runs and try and feed off those balls into the channels.
Emmanuel Cherme comes in to replace the injured Solomon Adomako. So he gets to partner Paul Kwame in central defense. Adomako just pulled a muscle and had to be taken off after some gallant display in central defense. So there you see Adomako. He's been taken straight into the treatment room after nearly gifting Hamza Issa with that goal. Mawali Wayo, Martin Kakari, Baba Adamu with a cross. Now, Safiana Usman was trying to put a through ball for Lawson Bekwi, but good reading of the game by Osei Sibe. It's Hamza against Cherme. Cherme's first involvement, and it's impressive. He's able to shepherd the ball away from Hamza for a goal kick.
Yeah, good reading of the ball. Was there at the right time. Just police the ball out of play to win aside that goal kick. But Hamza looks a bit tired. Not the energy we saw him play with. And just moments ago, he had himself in front of the goal. You know, all he had to do was just to shoot. Unfortunately, he didn't.
Bangura. Referee whistles. Because there's another player of Hohoe United injured. And it's Paul Kwame, Solomon Adumaku's centre-back partner.
Looks to
Similar
have
problem,
muscle, yeah.
Muscle pull.
Yeah. And it tells you the intensity of the game. And then, you know, it would be a big blow to Coach Ayipa if both of your most trusted centre-backs should be pulled off with 50 minutes and more, or even additional time to be played. It doesn't look good for them.
But there's another experienced central defender on their bench, in former Asante Kotoko centre-back Maxwell Arjaman. But it doesn't look like he'll be the one coming on. Arjaman actually failed to make the matchday squad. So that place We're waiting on that switch in a bit. Mohamed Al Qasim will step in. Hamza Isa has made way for Kofi Asma. You did indicate that you could tell from his demeanor, tiredness had set in, and Didi Dramani equally had noticed and so pulled him out. But the replacement is what beats my imagination a bit. Asma is known to be a midfielder, and he takes him out for his lone striker. Probably Duku occupies that space vacated by Hamza as Wayo keeps his place on the left wing.
Most definitely. They would need bodies in midfield as well to deal with, you know, the fast breaks of Hohoe United, and that's where Asma would be very, very useful.
DU goes past Paku. DU to Bekui. And it's all United still in possession. Amega having the final touch with the ball rolling outside for Hazavok's throw. Here is Amega. Now Usman. Al Qasim. Kujo to Baba, cleverly wins the ball off the foot of Sena Ati.
I tell you what, Nana, it's still open. 12 minutes to play, but I still think it could go either way. Looking at how there are spaces left behind to be exploited, and you'll be thinking it's just about who ends up being brave and very, very decisive in the attacking third.
Here is Bangura for the home side. The final delivery. Awful. Should be doing better after that amazing run to pick out that ball, Bangura.
Exactly, terrible shot there by Bangura, but you know, it's always nice to see your fullbacks make runs into the opposition box. What you just had to do was to make the right decision at that point. Perhaps a cutback, or just trying to, you know, direct that shot on target a bit. I think some communication will have to be sent out.
Referee Yakubu Hasim onto the lines to have a word with Rostum Senogbe, and the match commissioner Michael Amonu Moni. And there you see Hasim calling up one of those players. It is Ebenezer Amega. Al Qasim is a player who's been called up. What could be the problem?
Yeah, I think there were some changes made. I don't know what happened during pre-match, but Maxwell Ajiman didn't make the match day squad. Al Qasim actually did, but I don't know if there was confirmation, and that's why he's been called for verification.
Let's be very clear with education out here. Maxwell Ajiman's name was actually on the official team sheet for today's game, but he didn't show up on the field on the match day squad. And Al Qasim, whose name was not on the official team sheet, gets to replace them. The big question is, was this communication relayed to the match commissioner, the fourth referee, and subsequently the centre man?
And that's the million-dollar question, Nana. If it was actually made known to them, because yes, per the information, you had Maxwell Ajiman in there, but you know, before the commencement of the game, there was information also that Al Qasim Mohammed would replace him in the match day squad, and I think that's where the bone of contention is. And they need to be careful, Hohoe United. They really need to be careful, because if they didn't send any prior notice to either the referees or the match commissioner, they could be in problem. They really could be in trouble.
And knowing very well that this title race is still open and up for grabs, seems like Mediama and Bibiani Gold Stars, the first and second, will be keeping an eye on this fixture, and also that one in Kumasi tomorrow, knowing very well that these results could shape up the title race in a very competitive fashion.
Yeah, and I think that the talks will continue for quite a long time. It would, but I think for Hohoe United, they just need to state the obvious. They just need to make it clear that Ajeman was not supposed to be in the matchday squad, and Al-Qasim had to replace him. And now, you know, they just have to clarify things over there to see if Al-Qasim is eligible to play in this fixture. It's the most important thing now.
Chance for Hartsouk. Can they score? Kakari. Kweku Musa. Great save. Good goalkeeping. He had to put his body on the line for the club. But
he just had to, and just look at that run from the left-hand side. And it was Bangura that follows him. He trails him without fouling him, and that was smart defending by Bangura. Just smart defending. And it looks like the heat is on them now. Kakari should be scoring that. It does well with the run. It was amazing, shoots it, but it was a bit feeble, and Musa would just go down and save it.
Some 8 more minutes away from the 90. No goals between Hohoe United and our questions of the House of Oak defense. A game that has seen Hohoe United being forced to take away their 2 central defenders. Tells you about the intensity of this game, Josiah.
Yeah, big blow, and you know, with 7 minutes remaining, they could hold on, but you ask yourself, when are they returning? Would it be immediate? Because it would really help them.
Asma to Kakari. Lovely tackle from Treme.
And these 2 centre-backs have really stepped up ever since coming on for the injured Pokwame, and then also Adelmako.
Afrani's delivery. Maoli Wayo misses, but the flag goes up for offside against Wayo.
And this is where either side is most fragile. We are seeing spaces and they are attacking the spaces. But there's a better angle, a clearer view to know if Maoli Wayo was indeed offside. Another close call, very, very close, but doesn't even strike that one. Doesn't even make clear contact with the ball.
Now Sena Ati for Hohoe United. Sena Ati! Great save, Asari onto the side post. The pressure is mounting. Benjamin Asari keeping us the work in the game. Ati, poor touch. Now Wayo get an opportunity to get it away. Here is Paku. Asma. Hohoe United have a throw.
They are staying afloat now, Hearts of Oak. But then just look at that lovely ball onto the path of Ati. And just one touch, just hit that one. But Asari had to improvise. He nearly moved the other way. Just look at that. And with that left arm,
he had a slight tip.
Yeah, it was a tip
onto the side post.
Yeah, it was an important tip. It was an important tip for Asari.
That's why he's Hearts of Oak's #1 goalkeeper and the Black Stars #1. Here is Sena Ati again for Hohoe United. Looks for support. DU's cross and it's straight to Asari.
And it looks sloppy and shambolic from the Hearts of Oak defensive line. And they're allowing too many balls. They are turning over the balls too easily, and it's making the job very, very easy for Hohoe United as well to just attack them minute by minute.
5 more minutes away from the 90. Hohoe United 0, Hearts 0. Asma to Kakari. Wayo and Amebo will clear the danger for Hohoe United.
Yeah, again, a good chance that Didi will be furious. Too many touches from the attackers. A bit feeble sometimes, but nothing decisive.
Here is Duku. Clever defending again from Cherme.
He's yet to put a foot wrong, Cherme, since coming on. He's been so gallant whenever defended.
Hazelwood still bossing the game in terms of possession at 53% against the home side's 47. But it is the home side who are looking more dangerous in the second half than the Phobians.
Yeah, they ended the first half, with just 40% of the ball, and they've improved that in that regards. They've created decent chances as well for Hohoe United.
Here is Cujo. He's urging his men to go forward and move into spaces, but nobody seems to be on the same page with him. Adamu fouled, wins the free kick.
We should enjoy this well with Senati. They've really enjoyed each other.
Now I could see Senati asking, "Who are you?"
Well, he's been doubtless. Adamu, he's been doubtless despite the fact that he's gone into the books of the referee.
Duku's flick. Wayo is late for it and it's easily collected by Musa.
You could feel that there could still be a goal in this one.
You feel there could still be a goal in this game?
Yeah, you could feel it. Yeah, we've seen some decent chances fall into either side. And this one, Frank Duku, reacting a bit early. But again, Chairman, the man who prevents him from having a clean shot at that goal. It was the header by himself. Just look at that, another chance has gone begging.
Musa with a long one in, returned by Cujo. Chairman, returned by Bayfi. Here is Asma, goes down from the challenge of Usman in the free kick for Hadzabok.
Yeah, and this time it's a mega.
That's Emmanuel Amankwa looking on. It's been a long while since he played for the Phobians as a regular. Time for substitution. Hazabok coming up with what could be the last substitution for them in this game. David Oparfrane goes out for Theophilus Collison. Afrane playing in that midfield role so well this afternoon. He's given a good account of himself, David Oparfrane.
Correctly. That's Amevo. He was voted MVP in this game. So for Hohoe United, it's still looking, worse and terrible for them because they're still in the drop zone after losing this evening to Accra Hearts of Oak. But for Hearts of Oak, their title search continues because now they close in on league leaders, Mediama Sporting Club. It used to be 6 after this win. It's now 3 points. Francis Aboibo Blackgate. Now, the emotions keeps running. Each and every person you speak to is a bit emotional about something. Didi complained about they not finishing their chances. And then we also heard from Ayipa, who also complained about the fact that, they were wasteful on the day. But let me take your thoughts on the game.
Well, it's been a game of two ends. In the second half, in the halftime permutations, you spoke to me and you asked me, how do both teams win this game? And I told you it's clear that they will have to revisit their bench, their respective benches to see if their substitutes can come on board and win the game for them. And Kodiji Dramani ran the substitutions, and you saw Mauli Wayo rose from the bench, stepped onto the pitch in the second half, and we saw what he did. Sometimes the Ghana Premier League is a brutal league, and the league is being won by thin margins. You saw earlier in the second half, when Senna Ati hacked the other byline to score. Look at the calmness and the composure he exhibited in terms of putting up the chances at premium. And these are the things that you get from quality play. Look here, what should Abdul Kasim do? You are chasing the striker. He's not in the box. Dip into stoppage time, foul the striker and take a caution. Take one for the team. You saw at the tail end. Look here, just foul him.
His inability to foul him.
His inability to foul him. And decisions like this, the coaches cannot teach you this. It has to be instinctive. You have to learn from it. Look here, he's not in the box, Josiah. And the reason why Hasterfolk won this game in the second half, one, you saw Senati broke free on the other flank, and Baba Adamu faced this typical similar situation, and he thought very smart and fouled him, took the yellow card, halted the play. Then they played, and then 1v1. Goalkeeper Benjamin Asari pulled the save, cannon off the crossbar. Then it was in the hands of Hearts of Oak to go ahead and win the game. The Ghana Premier League, it's a brutal league. You've got to understand the permutations of the league. And Hohoe United can't keep conceding goals of this caliber. They've got to understand that you have to learn against 11 wonders. Prince Amevo encouraged Beve, made such comic error, and then they considered an 89th-minute equalizer. Today, you saw Prince Amevo. He learned from it. He ended up fouling people in the faces of the game. Then Abdul Kasim, he should look at this and learn from it, because things like this, the coaches cannot influence it. It is the players that stepped out onto the pitch got to understand that you have to take your destiny into your own hands and then try to play in the faces of the game proper. Because for Hohoe United, they are playing very well, and they just have to be bearing the chances. They are not clinical and ruthless enough in front of goal. And look, the more I watch this, the more I laugh.
Yeah, you could watch this over and over, but I think credit to Mauli Wayo for his composure in front of goal. But what do you make of the fate of Hohoe United now? They headed into match day 18 in the red zone. They lost, and that would keep them over there for at least another week, depending on what pans out in other games. But you think their fate has been sealed, and if they do not take care, there's a higher possibility they might return to where they came from?
No, Josiah. They are left with 16 more games to play. And if you look at the mini league, I've always said this, in the mini league, you look at the last 8 on the league table. Out of that last 8, 6 of those teams will have to come here to play at the Hohoe Sports Stadium. So if you and I are fighting, it's either you kill or you get killed. If majority of those teams will come here, it's simple. It's in your hand. You just got to step onto this same pitch, play them, beat them, and pull yourself away from relegation. If they come here and you don't beat them, then that means you have your own self to blame. For Hohoe United, there's no room for panic. It's still in their own hands. 16 more games to go in the Ghana Premier League. It's a whole lot of games. They can play, claw back the points, and then survive relegation from the Ghana Premier League.
Thank you very much, Francis Aboibo Blackgate, for your time this afternoon at Pitchside. And thank you so much if you tuned in to Onua TV and then also TV3 for this presentation. It's been a wonderful and amazing game of football here at the Hohoe Stadium, where Hohoe United, unfortunately, they keep adding more salt to their wounds. They lost to Accra Hearts of Oak by a lone goal. Mauli Wayo showing Nezo still in front of goal to Power Hearts of Oak to 3 points, and which means that they climb to close to, third on the league log. That's dependent on results from other games that will be played tomorrow. But don't forget that coverage of the Ghana Premier League continues tomorrow at the Barbara Sports Stadium, where Kumasi Asante Kotoko will be hosting Brekum Chelsea to draw the curtains on match day 18 of the Ghana Premier League. Thanks so much for making time. My name is Josiah Kokwe. Bye for now.